What's up guys, Barry Gaming here, back with some more AFK Journey, and today we're going to be talking about the faction talent system, because as you work your way down the trees, certain factions might be more powerful depending on the game modes you are focusing on. So let's jump into this. Let's talk about these faction talents, because you should have been able to get at least one faction to about level 20 by now, and let's explain why. So the one I went for, probably not the best decision overall. However, I just love my Celestial and Hydrogen heroes. As you go through, and once you get 40 points across all of these factions, you unlock the second tier. Now the second tier down here, of course, still has some flat stats, but it continues to enhance the special skill. You get more damage, you get more stunning ability, you also get recovering energy in the prime carriers for enemy hit. However, there's one thing that is special at the 20th point on every tree. You can see right here in the faction talent for Wilder, you get one extra buff tile. It is a little different because these buff tiles are pretty static across all four of the factions here. You can see they just add one extra tile. However, when we're talking about the light and the dark, the Celestial and the Hypogen, this one works just a little bit different. This one, it has a light one, and then it adds a second one with a dark talent buff. Now this changes up what it does, because remember, the main one here is going to be recovering HP for the prime carriers, getting energy, and then of course now there's a new special effect too. You see 6 seconds of the battle and 6 seconds after, the prime carrier deals true damage to the area of the most enemies and stuns them. So you're getting some CC effects, you're getting some crowd control, really good. And the prime carry continues to cast a skill as long as they remain in the battle. Now if both prime carriers, now that we have the second tile unlocked, remain in the battle, the light and dark spells activate simultaneously every 6 seconds, starting 3 seconds into the battle instead of 6. The radius of both spells is extended to 2 tiles. Now that is really awesome. Let alone, you got to remember, you're just getting a ton of raw stats too. We're getting HP, crit, attack, and physical and magic defense here. But this one's really interesting because it allows the dark carrier to buff the ally, creating a black hole that lasts for 3 seconds. When cast it at the area with the most enemies, it's going to deal damage to enemies within 1 tile and pull them to the center. So you're going to be getting a type of vortex effect. So this one is unique because the other ones all have these different abilities, you know, like the Wilder ones here. You're getting, you know, HP as a shield. You're able to have like unlimited attack range and stuff like that. It's really cool. Each one of these is different. However, I will say going for the Celestial and Hypogen has one big negative, and that's these are active in very limited game modes. One of the game modes that's probably the most important is the talent trials. You can see right here, if I have these heroes in, I can move them out of the way so you can see a little bit better. You now have a light version and a dark version. So you have 2 different ones here that becomes pretty interesting here. Beyond that, there's really only a couple of the game modes where it's active. One of them is Supreme Arena, which is a cool one to have it in, and the other one is going to be the Season Legend Trial. So the fact that I went in on the light and dark Celestial Hypogen one is kind of a negative, because then I'm getting none of that effect in this tree, whereas if I had maybe 1 or 2 of these others to level 20, then it might be a little bit more beneficial, especially like the Wilder one or something like that. So it's really, really cool. I'll show you guys what these effects actually do as well. So let's jump into a talent trials. I think what I want to do, I think I'm going to actually do something really weird. I'm going to run basically a full Celestial Hypogen team. I'm also going to run DNL here, which can be pretty awesome as well. So let's see what happens. So essentially what this is DNL is now going to have the carrier to deal AoE damage and inflict control effects periodically on the enemies with the most crowded area. So this can be really good. Now the other strategy I would consider here is dropping maybe like Scarlita out and then adding an Aaron in. This could be a pretty sick combo, and then even going without healing, we could consider going for the Orma strategy. This is going to allow us to pretty much keep them CC'd this entire time. Like, it really, really is. If I put almost here, that should be good. We can pull them in with Aaron at the beginning of battle here. Whoops, it would help if I actually had this on. And then you'll notice there's going to be these other little portals. See this big purple portal effect on the ground? That does have some synergies with heroes like DNL, who are going to do really good. And again, you see here, they're getting pulled into the center once again. And this happens constantly throughout the battle. It lasts 6 seconds, and I think it happens every 6 seconds too. And the fact that it continues to pull them in more and more, and you can have Aaron for placement to keep them grouped, and then it's going to continue to grind them out. This could have a really good effect on like pushing content, because if you can keep them CC'd, it's really, really awesome, as you see. And it does make heroes like DNL maybe even viable for pushing if you somehow have him. Granted, I don't think you need to have someone like DNL. Like, yes, he's going to do a ton of damage, but you could do a similar strategy. Maybe drop off the Aaron and throw in someone else. Like if we don't even have Aaron and instead we ran, oh man, actually, you know what? I wonder how Ulsa would be here. Ulsa could be pretty disgusting, actually. Although I kind of want to run Taylene as well, but Taylene's not really the greatest synergy here. I'm intrigued to see how Ulsa works with this effect. So let's see what happens. It's going to pull them in, right? I don't know. It's hard to, I don't think it's proccing the boulders, but it's really difficult with all the effects. So it's pulling him in right there. I don't think it is affecting it. I don't think it's proccing him, even though it is like a control effect. It doesn't seem to be doing it. So it is a little weird how it works. You got to keep that in mind. I mean, we could literally run more of like a full Celestial Hypogen with a Damien here. We can do something fun like this. So we have literally 2 gigantic AoE damage dealers here. And let's see how good it is at grouping people. It's not going to be good as Aaron because it's not as big. But you can see as you manipulate where they are on the battlefield, it does eventually pull more and more of them in because it's trying to group them up as much as possible. And honestly, this kind of looks like a crazy team right here. You do have to make sure you have 3 Celestial and or Hypogens in the team in order to activate these. But once you do, that suction effect might make this like one of the best teams to actually. You can see how much damage Taylene's doing. Honestly, having the Taylene in, much better. And honestly, I probably want to run her down here. And at that point, I mean, I don't even know if we need like a Scarlita or anything like that. I honestly feel like legit, I feel like running the Aaron and Almas combo with this team is pretty disgusting, not even needing any healing. I feel like this is probably the play right here. I feel like this could probably make a lot of progress because, again, we group them up and we hold them steady so that they can't move. And then at this point, we're basically like just controlling them the rest of the battle, it feels like. Maybe DNL's better just for the sake that he does stay away from the battle a little bit better, and we don't have to worry about the healing. Because yeah, if we don't have Damien in the mix, then DNL's definitely gonna be the better play because then she just keeps dying over and over. That's not gonna work. But it does seem like maybe DNL does become a viable strategy, especially in this one because we're not running any healers or anything like that. I guess running to Burial on this one is kind of stupid though, because Burial wants everybody separate, so that's kind of a negative. To be honest, we could even run someone like, since we're not running any healing and it would be more AoE damage, we could run something like this and switch him over to the anti-heal mode so that the enemies are CC'd and then they don't even get a chance to heal either. Something like this could be good because he also does some good AoE damage, and now we have so many tanks just surrounding them. Even when they do break out of this CC, it's just like they have no chance. They have no chance whatsoever. They're done for. And even if they have healers to try to get themselves back into the fight, Dunlinger actually does a good job at preventing that, which is pretty good. So running like the tankiest team essentially is not a bad strategy, and it kind of works out. Granted, you have to remember, we're not big deficit pushers or anything like this, but this definitely locks the enemy team down. You can see we're at about like, we're at 70,000, they're at 154, so it is a deficit. It's actually quite a bit of deficit. It's basically double, and it's working. So interesting team. It keeps them locked down. Almost definitely helps keep them locked down because like an Aaron pulls them in right there. This could be really good, especially when DNL uses his ultimate. He just rains fire from the sky, untouchable. It could work. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. That is the double tile talent. Don't worry, they get even stronger as you get more talents, and I can't wait. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Soon we'll be pushing like 4 times our deficit or something like that. I'll see you guys next time.